What's going on YouTube? It's your man Army Vet Collection back with another video installment of my web series, What Do You Collect? If you've been riding with me this far, I just want to say I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. And before we get into this thing, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But just working hard to produce more content for you. Been focusing a good bit on trading cards as the industry has boomed, and I often speak about that. But the trading card industry is on fire right now, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So with that being said, I decided to post a video on the subject of the new company in the grading world called HGA. That's hybrid grading. A lot of you may be familiar with them as they are quickly becoming popular among people in the hobby. I recently submitted and got back my first shipment and trial with the company, and I must say the company pretty much holds true to its word. You know, I utilized the services for the 30-day turnaround, and it was pretty spot on, give or take a few days. Now, it did take me about 2 months of trying to get my card submitted because the process for getting a shipping ticket was just, I guess, pretty crowded. It was, you know, with them being new and popular, they're the new it thing, so everybody's trying to get in. But after I got in and got everything shipped to them, they pretty much honored the time frames that they were supposed to end the service that I paid for. It was pretty much spot on, you know, give or take a few days. So I paid for 30 days turnaround, and I got them back in about 45 days. But you got to keep in mind that the ticker starts once they received and processed my cards in, not from the date at which I shipped them out. So it, you know, it was right about spot on. And once they, you know, processed everything in, they gave me pretty much a blow-by-blow, step-by-step update on my account as to what part of the process that my cards were in. And I thought that that was fantastic. So I had to just simply sit back and wait on email notification as to which point in the process my cards were in. So it made it a really, really pleasant surprise. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So I think that if you've gotten familiar with the company, you know that one of the highlights of the company is the fact that the labeling and the packaging on their slabs is really, really unique, and it gives a lot of detail. There's been some complaints about the inconsistency in the grading because they use a 5-part grading system where they give you 4 scores and then an average total score for everything calculated up. And I'll go into that a little bit later in the video. But first up, let's go ahead and take a look at the first slab. And I sent in this Emmitt Smith rookie pro set. Pretty popular card amongst 90s junk wax. Not a heavy hitter, but still something that I think is pretty good to have in your collection. But I did not purchase this card new or fresh out of a pack. It was something that I got out of a collection that I've had a while. So you'll see my overall score of an 8 was about what I expected, since the card was, you know, a used card. It wasn't anything that I anticipated being, you know, close to a top score of a 9, 5, or 10. But it's about where I thought I would be for the age on the card and from the way it looked, you know, on the surface and the edging. But the thing that I was talking about previously was their scoring system. So if you'll notice, if you're looking at the 4 scores and then the overall score, corner, surface, edging, and then centering, I had 3 consistent scores and then the 1 low score. So, you know, they seem to be pretty strict, pretty tight on their grading. But I guess that's good, though, because I think that's going to help the value of their product and their grading system to go up in the future. So I'll definitely be doing some more business with them. And the label is just gorgeous the way it ties in with whatever you choose, whether it's to match the card or to match the team or the jersey. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful setup. And you got a couple of different options you can pick from. But just a beautiful setup. Like I said, I definitely will be utilizing their services again, because I think that their package rivals some of the top grading companies like PSA and Beckett. So, I mean, I think this slab gives life to an otherwise pretty normal card. It makes it look like something that just should be put on display versus a 90s junk wax card. Again, this is the Emmitt Smith draft pro set, or otherwise known as his rookie for that series. Beautiful card. Next up is another card that was something I had in my collection for a while. I actually had this one in my collection since I was a youngster, and again, nothing that came fresh out of a pack or anything like that. It was just something I had, and I've always kind of enjoyed and decided to just send in and get it graded. So the 92 Fleer Shaquille O'Neal rookie. Again, the four score system with the overall average, and came back as an 8.5. Like I said, they grade pretty consistently so far through the shipment. You know, a couple of 9s, got an 8.5, and then an 8. So again, just like the last card, you know, it seems pretty consistent. But then that one score that came pretty low. So I'm kind of seeing a pattern here. Not really sure what that's about. But overall, this is about where I thought this card would come back, seeing as, you know, how it was maintained and how long I had it in my collection. Again, not something that I pulled fresh out of a pack, so I'm still pretty happy with the score. It's fair. You know, it's not something I was looking to make a home run with. It was just something I utilized to spend not a great deal of money on, but to test run this system that they are standing up. And I'm pretty happy about this. It's a pretty fair score. Like I said, nothing major. I won't be getting rich anytime soon off of this, but I think that if you look at the detail and the way it looks, I mean, it's really good looking to me, and I think that it will only go up in value in time, and I think that their higher scored cards are going to be something that's really sought after in the market going forward. So again, this is the 92-93 Fleer Shaquille O'Neal rookie. So beautiful. Beautiful card. And then finally, or next, should I say, you see the back of the card already, so you probably know what it is, those of us who are pretty much enthusiasts in the hobby. But this one is another card that I've had, you know, back since I was a youngster, and I was really anxious to see, because I took pretty good care of it, and I kind of was wondering where it would hit, being that it's a white card and a little bit harder to preserve over time. But again, you know, they came back pretty consistent. Got 1.9 on centering, edges an 8, corners 8.5, surface an 8. So overall an 8.5, about where I thought I would be on this one also. And just take a look at the backdrop of the card and the label and the way it ties in, and then the trim along with the overall score. It is gorgeous to me. It is almost as though you were looking at the colorway on a fresh pair of J's. I mean, I just thought it was an outstanding setup. I'm really happy with the way it came out, and I'm more so happy with the way it came out than the fact that I didn't get top tier scores. I mean, I love this setup. So if you are looking to compete with the lengthy times of PSA, and you're looking for style and something that I think is a good investment now in terms of getting in early and then value coming later, I think that you cannot go wrong with HGA. So again, I got an 8.5 on this 89 Hoops Michael Jordan. So, and last but certainly not least, a card that I definitely was curious as to how it would come back, because I took as good of care of it as I could, but I couldn't actually preserve it the way I wanted to for who it is. But at the same time, I still thought that for the age on the card that it would be something that would come back pretty much in the middle. So as I raise it up, you automatically know who this is. He needs no introduction. Kobe Bryant, you see that he looks extremely young in the face and has no hair, but he's not bald. So you can tell that that comes from him being a young buck in this photo. So this is the Fleer Metal 181 Kobe rookie. And I really wanted to know what this card would come back as because it had some very small surface issues that are hard to tell. I'm trying to keep the reflection of the lighting off the plastic that's still on the cover of the slab. To give you an example, if you can kind of key in on some of the detail, but it's an overall beautiful card and in pretty good shape. But I knew that they would pull out the equipment and get down on it. So take a look at the scores up top. I got 3 8s and then I got a 5, and this one shocked me because I wasn't expecting something which is generally the higher of scores, the surface, to be so low. The corners, the edges, and the centering were pretty much even, but it's just like back in the days of Sesame Street. One of these things just doesn't belong here. One of these things just isn't the same. Can you guess which one just doesn't belong here? Guess before my song is done. Da 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 da. And a 5. And then to get an overall score of a 6, I was a bit shocked. I thought that this score was not consistent with the grading thus far for the other 3 slabs. So, comment down below if you think that maybe I should resubmit or try another company, because we all know that some of the Kobe Bryant products are being touted as extremely productive, positive, high yielding investments for the near and long term future. So, although it's not the rarest of Kobe rookies, it's still one. And as there is a frenzy to purchase up anything with his name on it, I think that I may end up resubmitting. But overall, still the same concept applies. The card is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It ties in perfectly. You have several options to get your labeling to match whatever part of the card or the team uniform that you want. And I just think that their product is only going to go up in value. So there you have it for my first experience with HGA. I currently have another order shipping out today as we speak, so I'll definitely be doing an actual full-on break of that experience coming back, and I think that that should be back around early September, because like I said, once they process in, they're turning around in 30 days or just a few days more if you pay for that service. And then they also have services that will be considered express that are a little bit more lengthier. And on that next break, I'll go into a somewhat more detail on things like pricing. But thank you for your time. And this is Army Vet Collect with my web series, What Do You Collect? Thank you. Hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Out of here.